think that curiosity can be taught?
I think it can only be taught through trauma. The reason I say that is because before my dad passed away, I wasn't curious at all. I was like kind of like a stuck-up kid. I got every toy that I wanted for the most part. Like I didn't have any reason to be curious, right? But my dad told my mom before he passed, don't say yes to him for anything. He's like, don't tell him yes, punish him, make him take the bus. And he just created, I guess, like a hard life for me through my mom.
Welcome to another episode of the Out of the System podcast. I'm your host, Leo Climaco. My guest today is someone who really amazes me. Someone who is very young, very smart, very intelligent, and has built a small empire for himself at a very young age. Vincent Fischer. What's up, brother?
Thank you for the introduction.
You're welcome. How are you?
Doing good.
Man, I am so happy that you're here. I really am.
Yeah, thank you.
I see you as like the future, you know? Mm-hmm. You are holding a flag. I think you hold a baton for your generation, especially for men, to show them what's possible and to show them what one can do.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, and it's funny because I like that it's called Out of the System, right?
Yep.
I was explaining to you this off camera. When I was, 17 years old, I thought I was destined for the system. Right? Like we talk about deep topics like the male suicide rates at an all-time high.
Oh my, it's crazy.
But we don't think about why, right? Like I remember when I thought I had to live a life of a 9-to-5 job, making minimum wage. By the time I was 80, I could retire. I just thought
by the time you're 80.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
And I thought that wasn't a life worth living. I watched my dad work his entire life and pass away at 55.
Wow.
So it's just, it starts with a depressionary period where you're like, damn, is this what I'm destined for?
Right.
Then I became a conspiracy theorist. Then I was like, well, there's Freemasons, there's lizard people, the way the system's set up, etc. But then I thought, that's not getting me the result I want. That's not giving me anything productive. And I found out about financial freedom, right? So for me, I was doom scrolling on my phone, right? I used to play video games, I'd watch Pornhub, Jack. I was messing around, right? And
17, 18, what do you want?
Yeah. And I came across a mentor. He was 27 at the time, and he had a drop-top Phantom.
Okay.
And I remember my dad would always say, one day we're going to get a Rolls Royce. He's like, Vince, I'm going to build you a house. We'll get a Rolls Royce. He was in construction of the house. Then he got sick, had to sell the house. We're in an apartment. Ambulance comes, and, that was kind of like the end of my dad. But it was my mission to kind of carry out his word. And I just, I always say God or the universe talks to you in coincidences, but I went, I'm going to listen to the people that have Rolls Royces, right?
Yes.
So I see this 27-year-old guy, maybe not the best role model, right? He was a day trader, right? He would smoke weed, he'd play video games, and I'd play Fortnite with him. But every chance I got to play with him, I'd ask him questions. I was like, so how'd you get into day trading, right? How'd you get into entrepreneurship? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? I always say that wisdom begins with curiosity, right? Like a lot of people, they fail at life because they're not curious about anything.
Yeah.
They just think this is how it goes, and they don't think. But I saw he was doing day trading and making money online, and that was my
quick question for you.
Hope. Yeah.
Do you think that curiosity can be taught?
I think it can only be taught through trauma. The reason I say that is because before my dad passed away, I wasn't curious at all.
Okay.
I was like kind of like a stuck-up kid. I got every toy that I wanted for the most part. Like I didn't have any reason to be curious, right? But my dad told my mom before he passed, don't say yes to him for anything. He's like, don't tell him yes, punish him, make him take the bus. And he just created, I guess, like a hard life for me through my mom. And that made me curious. Then I was like, wait, there's more things that I want and other people have them. I was like, how do I get them, right? So I was a high school dropout. You know what I mean?
Same.
I'm not advising. That's awesome. I'm not advising anyone watching this to drop out of high school. You don't have to do that to become successful. But I didn't drop out to like just mess around. Like I read hundreds of self-development books at 17. And, I read, the basic ones like the Think and Grow Rich, the 48 Laws of Power, the Outwitting the Devil, the Science of Getting Rich, Science of Being Well, Science of Getting Great, How to Win Friends and Influence People, just every single self-development, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right.
And I'm just like, I want to learn about success from people that are successful. But then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, I have all this knowledge, but I'm just skinny as shit and I'm like a nobody, So I'm like, what am I going to do with it, right? So that was when I got in the gym and I was like, okay, I heard a quote that your level of income will never exceed your level of personal development. So I was like, okay, let me just build the best version of myself. Part of that was to make money. Part of it, I was a loser. I wasn't getting any of the options guys had, never got the girls, never got invited to parties. So I was like, let me get in the gym and become somebody important. And I guess that was kind of how the social media kicked off. You know what I mean? I started posting online, not with the intention of making money, but I thought I went from skinny to gaining 40 pounds at this time.
Wow.
I want to inspire people. I always say if you have a desire to inspire, that's the number one sign that you'll pull it off, because God wouldn't give you the desire if you weren't capable of the achievement. So around this time though,
Facts.
Yeah, around this time I'm working out and I was helping people for free. They're like, Vince, what's the routine, et cetera. I was giving it out for free. And I was doing day trading because of that mentor, but I blew my trading account.
Okay.
And I had negative in my bank account. I'm at my brother's apartment on a mattress on the floor. And I'm just like, damn, we gotta eat somehow. Like, we gotta pay the bills, because he's working at Amazon and I'm over here on the mattress. All they would do every weekend is get drunk. They'd have Hennessy and they bring like just hose in the room. And I'm like, I don't want to live like this.
How old your brother? He's older?
He's 4 years older than me. So he was 24. And it's good being the younger brother, because you get to see the example.
Yeah.
You get to see what not to do, right? So
Exactly.
I watched him do the party route, the cocaine route, the hose route, and a bunch of bullshit came with that. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But my way out was like fitness programs. Like I said, I'd look at people successful and I'd be like, what are they doing? A lot of people think you have to reinvent the wheel with success.
You really don't.
Yeah, I was like, if he's selling fitness programs for like low ticket, let me try doing something like that.
Right.
So I made like a $20 PDF. That was solid. Like, it was
Who's he that you mentioned?
It was David Lade at the time.
Okay.
It's funny because I met him at the gym like a year and a half ago, and I was like, yo, David, what's going on, bro? But he has a big following. He was the first person I saw that had a before and after online.
Got it.
So I remodeled him. I was like, okay, let me make my PDF. And it was cool. Like, it made me a couple thousand, and that was life-changing at the time, but I was capped at like 3,000 to 5,000. And I'm like, I want to make real money, right?
Yeah, but now you lit that fire under you.
Yeah, I had the fire.
You saw the possibilities.
But it's funny because the first $20 PDF sale was more important to me than making millions online.
I bet.
Because it was like
it's more meaningful.
Hope. Yeah. And I think it was Warren Buffett that said it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter, I think he said, it doesn't matter how hard you row, it matters what boat you're in, right? Like, so for me, when I first started thinking about how am I gonna make money, I was like, what's the most expensive thing I could sell? So I started thinking about like jewelry. I was like, I don't know, jewelry's expensive, maybe I try that. I was drop shipping these like gold chains that were plated, and I get them from Alibaba, and I was doing little stuff like that. But when I saw the margins on info, it was game changing for me, because I didn't have like a eBay store where I made $50, but then there's like platform fees, then there's like bullshit shipping fees, and I keep like 10.
It's directly to you.
And then I had this mentor that popped up online. I did a podcast with him. His name's Brandon Carter. So Brandon Carter, I did one with him. He taught about high ticket sales at the time. He had this program called High Ticket Trainer.
Okay.
So I mixed that with what I was doing with fitness, and I started selling at 1 to 2K.
Wow.
And I remember it was the scariest thing in the world, but I stopped selling over a website. I got people on phone calls, and I was like, hey, listen, it's $997 4 months for the routine and everything like that, like poker face. But it's scary to do that, right?
Oh,
like,
100%. The first couple of times, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. I'm
Imposter syndrome, like, who am I, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Am I worth this much?
That's the biggest thing, because I always say success is just a game of self-image.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to feel like you deserve it. You have to feel like you're worth it to accelerate to the next level.
Correct.
So,
you got to match that frequency.
Yeah. You have to, I guess, yeah, you got to match the frequency, because I used to look in the mirror and just like tell myself, yeah, I'm worth this. I'm worth the 997, et cetera. And the more I started to understand that, the easier it came to me. Right? Like, people think there's some reality where you can feel unworthy or undeserving and have a certain result. I'm big on self-image.
Right.
Like, how I was able to climb every single level was seeing myself as more important. I believe that how you view yourself is reflected in your outer world.
100%. To your point, one of my favorite reels that I saw from you was when you were younger and you were saying, I'm going to be a millionaire one day.
Yeah.
And the reel cuts to you today. I think just you saying that out loud to a camera, you already believed it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the first step. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. I feel like that moment, you're like, yo, I am going to do this. I don't care what's in my way, who's in my way. I'm going to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. And it's funny because on camera, I said, I'm going to be a millionaire. Off camera, I believed I was a millionaire, right? So it's two different things. I can't go on camera and say, hey, I'm a millionaire, because people are going to be like, kid, you're delusional. What are you talking about? You're dead broke. But like my mom taught me a lot of the success principles. I remember my mom gave me a CD of a movie called The Secret. And it talked about like frequencies and the science behind getting what you want.
Manifestation.
And I tried it on something small, right? Like I tried it on something small. I was like, you know, my mom hasn't brought home peanut M&Ms in a while, right? Like, and I did all the principles. I was, you know, thinking about, you know, just tasting the M&Ms, you know, having them. And 30 minutes later, my mom comes home with M&Ms. She's like, Vincent, you know, I have a surprise for you. I was like, wait, what? So like after that, I went off on a rampage. I'm going to the Rolls Royce dealership now, acting like I'm buying a car. I'm going on Zillow. I'm touring mansions. And it's funny because over time, obviously there's logic in between that and circumstances and strategy, but like that started to actually become my reality, you know, and it's at every level. It's not really fake it till you make it. It's just like, you have to assume that everything you want is yours already.
Right.
Even the girl I'm with now, my girlfriend Ksenia, when I first, you know, had her on a shoot, I was visualizing. I was like, let me get a Russian model, you know, next to the car. Let me visualize what it's like. Before you know it, she's like, hey, you want to do gym videos together? Yeah, sure. Let's do gym videos. And then it's reality. So everybody watching this right now, like the big secret, I guess, is assuming the things that you want as already yours. And it's biblical, right? You have to see the things you want as, you know, you're already in possession of, and that's the only way you can have them. So, I mean, my journey's been, just to summarize it, because I know it's been all over the place, but I did a bunch of different business models, like reselling, drop shipping, day trading, failed all those, probably didn't put enough time into them, did fitness programs. That was my first little sign of success. That's how I made my first 6 figures, went to high ticket, and now I do consulting. So that's I guess the pathway.
Do you still do high ticket?
Yeah, I still do high ticket to this day. Okay. A little bit more high ticket, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because now I close 50, 100K cash deals just on the regular.
That's awesome.
And it takes a lot of self-belief. Like, people don't understand that. I'm no different than anyone watching this. Like, but I've been able to understand universal principles.
Right. You cracked the code.
And pass most people. And a lot of the stuff that I do is an investment in self-image. You know, somebody might be like, oh, you know, the kid bought a $3.5 million car. It's a depreciating asset, et cetera. They don't get that I'm training my self-image of billionaire, right? Like, when I buy a car like that, or even when I bought my first Phantom or anything, it's an investment in self-image, because I'm telling myself, you know, yeah, that's what a motherfucker like me drives,
right?
You know, and every single time I've made these bold moves and jumped. When I bought my first Lambo, everything I had wasn't smart at all. But within 6 months, I became the guy that owns the Lambo, right? I became the guy that made 6 figures a month and owns the Lambo, right? When I bought my first Phantom, was I the businessman at that time? Absolutely not. I was just a kid that over leveraged.
Right, because you either rise to the occasion or you collapse. Those are your only options.
Yeah. And that's where I feel most comfortable. You know, it's funny because, I don't know, I think this was like a few months ago. I was too comfortable. You know, like, people don't understand what
comfort kills, bro.
Yeah, like people don't get what it's like to make hundreds of thousands, sometimes 6 figures a day. Right? Like, it's so comforting, and you get lazy. I'm on podcasts. I'm not even me anymore. I'm just like, what's the meaning to life? So, like, you know, I was like, I think I'm going to do something dumb, because she's like, well, what are you going to do? Oh, that's not smart, et cetera, but you do you, et cetera. So I buy the car. I'm me again, right? I'm outlandish. I'm on stories.
Right.
And that's my gift to the world. Like, it's selfish for me to be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that car is like some magic weight I can't handle, but it's that extra pressure of like, okay, let me go slide to his podcast, let me make more stories, because I didn't want to be selfish where I'm making all this money, I'm doing paid ads, and like, I'm not showing up for the kids that watch me. You know what I mean? So everything I do is selfless. Every time kids ask me like, yo, can I sit in the car, Vince? Am I gonna let them drive it? No, because I don't want them to crash it. But like, what I have myself, I want for others. I'm like, get in my, sit and take photos and do whatever you want, because this isn't for me. Like, I've experienced, like, I've had a nice life for like 4 years now. You know what I mean? I'm 22, but I started my entrepreneur journey at 16. So like, for the people that just see me now, a lot of people just saw me like 3 months ago or something.
Right.
And, you know, they're like, oh, this kid's, you know, materialistic and he's greedy and et cetera. But I do everything so selflessly, and I feel like that's what people misunderstand about me, is like, it's not even about me anymore. I made this analogy in a reel the other day, and I was kind of like, when you first get a Lambo or something, I'm giving Lambo examples, but it's super exciting. It's like, damn, this is a fucking crazy car. You know, I'm driving it. When you've done that for a few years, then it's like a car.
Yeah.
But you get your happiness from other people experiencing the same things that once made you happy.
Right.
So that's like my purpose and meaning. And it's funny because I do consulting now, but the real way that I transform people's lives, the real way that I have, you know, just hundreds of testimonials of people making 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, is I reframe their mind. I reframe their self-image. I'm taking these guys that are coming in.
That's key.
They really see themselves as like minimum wage workers.
Right. They're stuck in that box, in that frame.
Yeah, like and no matter what strategy you give somebody, if they see themselves as a minimum wage worker, they're not gonna ascend above that.
Right.
So I teach them the real principles behind success of like, listen, you know, when you join this was a identity shift. Like you're a new you. And I got these guys that come to me that were working 3 jobs that are texting me every day like, hey, Vincent, I'm so grateful for your help. I'm grateful for you being in my life. I got texts like that just driving here. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
That's what fulfills me now, you know?
And whoever said that car depreciates doesn't know about cars at all.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because I have lost over $500,000 in cars. I've lost a lot of money in cars. And you know, some people will say, oh, that's stupid. But I mean, surface level I lost, but not really, because branding it always comes back.
Right.
I think the best.
And you got to experience those cars.
Yeah. And the best investment in modern day time is building your brand. I think that's the only way to last with AI coming out. Like if you don't become known and important, a robot can do anything else.
100%.
One thing the robot doesn't have is relatability. Nobody's gonna look at AI or ChatGPT and be like, damn, he's just like me. You can't do that, right? So like a doctor buying a Lambo is, you know, maybe it's not the most beneficial because it's kind of like, okay, you know, he's already working at the clinic, et cetera.
Right.
An influencer buying a Lambo is the best investment, because if I took $250,000 and I put it into the S&P 500, you're doing 10% a year, taxes, et cetera. You're $25,000, right? But if you buy a Lambo, you're an influencer, and people see your perceived value as higher, they start listening to you more. You're gonna make, you know, a lot cool more. 7 figures a year from that, you know? So that's been my game. And these cars are like networking tools almost. I've unlocked so many new doors of people that are just like, yo, who is that guy? Right? It's not everything, because, you know, if a dumbass buys a Lambo, within 10 seconds, you could see like, okay, this guy doesn't have it. Right. But if you have some type of substance, people are like, okay, you know, who is this? I've had so many guys that are making hundreds of millions, billions online that have just reached out and been like, yo, man, you're killing it, et cetera. But I'm an offense guy, you know? That's my biggest thing.
How does that feel to have these guys reaching out to you?
It feels great. And I always say, like, by the time you have everything you want, it's not gonna be like, wow. It's gonna kind of be who you are.
Yeah.
You know, so people go, Vince, how did it feel to finally achieve everything that you once said? What was the biggest change? I was like, the biggest change happened before the achievement. Because I reframed my mind to, yeah, this is who I am. And that takes a lot of work. Like I always tell people, if we were to give a practical example, everybody watching this, think about everything that you want in life. Right. I don't know, maybe it's a car, maybe it's taking care of your mom, maybe it's being known. Imagine you having that now. Like you have that right now. Everybody that watched this had some little ounce of fear or misalignment.
Embarrassment.
And they had logic, right? Yeah. And they went, well, I can't do that right now because I'm working a job. Why I can't do that because, you know, maybe I'm not the social media guy. Those are all the obstacles that you have to destroy and eliminate to get what you want. So I always say the only separating factor between you and everything that you want isn't time. Because time itself is an illusion. The past is an illusion. It already happened. The future is an illusion. It hasn't happened. The only differentiating factor is believing wholeheartedly that it's yours already. And that's how I've been able to ascend to this level at 22. Most 22-year-olds don't make 8 figures a year.
No, I'm listening to you here, and you sound like you're my age.
Yeah.
I got about 15 years on you. I'm 37, and you're so wise. Seriously, like it's really impressive how you have.
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
Have your head together at such a young age. I was a mess at 22. I don't know what the fuck I was. I was working doing IT on a 9 to 5. I thought that was my future. You know, I didn't really start building companies till I was 28.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it took me I was a late bloomer in that sense. So to be where you are right now with the knowledge that you have, bro, when you're my age, you're gonna be a billionaire.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I've always seen, but I've noticed that pattern too. You know, the funniest thing is all of the most successful entrepreneurs I know that are making like 9 figures a year that I've sat down and spoke with, they were late bloomers too. You know what I mean? They started at 40 and now at 45, they're killing it. So most people think that it actually takes people like 40 years, but it doesn't.
Right.
It took them 40 years to find the blueprint.
Exactly.
Then as soon as they have the blueprint, they run the information, they run
Once
the
it clicks,
play.
right?
Yeah. And I had that click early because I just had no type of, I guess, ego for people that were ahead of me. You know, for people that weren't, I was always just outlandish. In school, I couldn't listen to my teachers, right? Like if my art teacher is telling me like, you know, Vincent, you need to get a job. I was a disrespectful, reckless kid. It was good
Look
that I
at me
dropped
now.
out. Yeah. And it's funny because people say now, Vince, do you want to go back and take your cars there and it's a different vibration now.
Right.
Like I don't
There's no need for that.
Yeah, like why would I go back to Arizona and drive my car? It's just it's beyond you.
I guarantee you they're all watching you anyway.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that all of your high school teachers are watching you.
Yeah. You know the funniest thing though, like I was always so aligned. Like my mom didn't believe in me like I believed in me. Like she believed in me, but only
I know what you mean.
From what
they
she
usually
could,
don't.
Yeah, only from what she could like. I guess my mom was like the man of the house, and she'd take care of me and my brothers, so she wanted like safety. But when I was, I think I was 15. I think I was 15 years old. I wasn't wearing my ID ever. Like I said, I was a reckless kid. I got called to the front office. The vice principal of school sat me down in a chair. And he said, what are you doing with your ID? You can't listen to instructions. You can't follow orders. He's like, when you're working your job at Taco Bell, like, and he said it like strong, and I had it recorded because he'd say stuff like that. I still have the voice note. He's like, when you're working your 9 to 5 job at Taco Bell, you're going to wish you would have listened and followed instructions or something along those lines. Now, the funniest thing is when he told me that, I laughed. Like, I for some reason, God-given, I was just born so optimistic.
Yeah.
I had so much self-belief that I was like, I looked him in the face and I was like, like I'm laughing, you know, like, and I showed that
Probably pissed them off more.
Yeah. I showed that to my mom though. He didn't know I was recording. Probably could have gotten him fired, but I wasn't like, I didn't really care. I showed it to my mom. My mom was enraged because she didn't believe in me like I believed in me, and my brothers didn't have the same mindset I had. Like, it's funny because the same things that would destroy a person's life, can, like, you know, they say pressure makes or breaks you. But I was just laughing. Like, I didn't even have a drive after that. I was just laughing because I knew it was inevitable.
Are you the tallest in your family?
So my dad was 6'3". I'm 6'5", but since he passed away when I was 8, all I can think of when I think of my dad is looking up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm the tallest now on that side.
There's a reason for that.
Really?
Yeah, because you carry the weight. You're the one that was chosen to break your karmic lineage.
It's funny because
That was put on you, and you fucking shattered it.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, knock on wood, continue to shatter. But it's funny because my grandpa, my direct grandpa, like my dad's dad, black side of the family. I'm half black, half Italian. He used to chase.
So am I. I'm Brazilian, but half black, half white. Also, yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, he used to chase chickens like barefoot for pennies.
That's hysterical.
Like this is 2 generations before. He used to like use different water fountains. You know what I mean? And my grandparents were never like my grandparents love everybody. Like they're pretty wise, but a little bit older.
Yep.
They never made excuses. We're never like, oh, we're a black family. I had a family with just strong mindsets, you know, and like my grandpa was the man. My grandpa has a farm somewhere in Texas. My dad was the first person to leave the farm and move to Arizona. Now I'm like the next lineage. The last time, it's funny because the last time I ever shed a tear, and this was like 2 years ago now, when I told my grandpa I wasn't finishing high school. And he was like, man, what would your dad think about that? And it was something about that like stabbed me of like, damn, you know, because I was like the golden boy until I told him that. But I guess we completed that mission now too, you know, so it's great.
How does it feel about you now?
Yeah. He can't conceptualize it because when I called him 6-7 months ago and I was like, hey, Grandpa, you know, just wanted to check in because I heard he was sick and I didn't want anything bad to happen to him. He's like, hey man, Vincent, I heard you were you were Instagram famous or something like that or Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I post a little bit. He's like, you making any money, man? I was like, yeah, I'm making a little bit of money. This was 8 months ago, but he's like, how much you making, man? I was like, at the time it was like 250,000. Like 250,000? He's like, a year? I was like, nah, a month right now. He's like, man, just make sure what you're doing is legal, man. Like you can't. It's a new era where like they don't even have phones.
They don't get it.
They have like flip phones. So my grandpa is just like my grandpa's an old head. I love my grandpa, but he's like the man of his unit though.
Right.
Like he's got his own street named after his last name.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I think when I say trauma makes wisdom, like when my dad passed, I watched the whole family scatter. So my dad was like the last fucking standing point of that side of the family. When he passed, I watched my aunts fight over his credit cards to spend every last dime of them. You know what I mean? And I watched the whole family collapse after that. My dad would take me down for Christmas. Everybody would come and be a big barbecue. Well, last time I went to my grandpa's after that, he's like, man, they don't see me anymore. Nobody comes to see me unless they ask for money or something like that. And I was like, damn. You know, so I guess that kind of made me distant from that side of the family too. Yeah. I just hang around my mom. I hang around, really, that's my mom, my brothers every now and then. But
would you want to put that back together or no?
Honestly, my dad told me to. He's like, when I pass away, make sure you always see your grandpa. But I don't know. Everybody's so old now. You know what I mean? Like everybody's 60, 70 on that side. So I don't know. But it's funny because I was just always focused on me. And I know that's going to lead to the bloodline being set. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like if you want to retire your family, you have to separate from them for a little bit. That was why I moved out and moved to Miami. Right. Because I knew if I stayed around my mom, like it was just different beliefs. Like this, I couldn't be focused on internet money. And my mom's like, well, what if you get sued, Vincent? What if this and that happened? It's funny because I called my mom. I was like, Mom, it's funny. I just got my first legal letter. She's like, oh, well, Vincent, you have it figured out. I'm like, yeah, I got everything figured out. But it's funny because all the stuff that you like, I had a solution to every problem. My mom had a problem to every solution. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. Well, Vincent, what if that goes bad? Well, I'm going to do this now. Well, Vincent, what if that goes bad? Right. And as much as I love my mom, I'm like, I got to separate from that for a little bit. And then, my mom's retired now. My girl's retired. I take care of them, and that's life, you know.
A lot of people see failure as like the be all end all. They don't get that. It's just a lesson. Learn your lesson and move on. Try again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it can be painful for a lot of people having that setback, right? Losing that much money, losing a business, getting sued, whatever it may be, right? They can't conceptualize it. And it's funny because even now, like this is a John Jones perspective. John Jones, the UFC fighter. It's funny because I heard him in an interview, and they're like, when you're going into fights, what do? He's like, I entertain the idea. What happens if I lose? What happens if I lose? What happens if I do get knocked out? He even says, like, I get shit-faced drunk before the fight, just so it's an excuse. But what does that do? It takes away the nerves of losing. You've already gotten comfortable with the idea of failure. And you've already analyzed where that goes. And for that reason, you're able to take fearless action. Now you have nothing to lose.
So it's funny because I do the same thing a little bit. I don't know, not from him directly, but I was like, okay, I can relate to that. Because when I'll make a bold move, maybe, I'll buy a hypercar, sales team leaves. My sales team that makes $700,000-800,000 a month dips.
I saw that reel.
Yeah,
I saw that story. That was cool.
And they're like, man, I'm just making Vince rich, etc. Right? But I entertain that, when that happens, before I take action, I entertain, okay, what does happen if this well dries out, right? What does happen if, Vincent got rid of the car? What happens then? Okay, maybe it's like a year of shame, oh, that guy failed. And I don't focus on that. But like I'll scan that and I'll go, okay, that's what happens. And it'll be a year of disappointment, then I'm back on my feet.
Right.
And then I go, let's work now. Now let's win. And I've done that throughout the entire journey. And I don't know why, I don't know what that does, but it's just winners analyze the negative, the worst that could happen, and the best that could happen. For me, the reason I was always fearless is because my worst case was if I worked a 9 to 5 the rest of my life, I'd kill myself. So like that's pretty do or die.
I know that feeling.
So if I'd rather kill myself if I'm trapped, you think I'm gonna be afraid to lose, I don't know, 100,000 or lose a few million, right? Like, it's funny because I blew my first few million. It's funny to say that, and
we all do.
I have zero regrets about that at all either.
You almost have to.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of your system. Go blow some money. Go buy some nice toys. Go buy a nice watch, a nice car.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
And I don't say blue like I was never like a club guy, or I never like cashed it on crazy designer or any. But I mean blue like in a sense reinvested, right? Like you said, the cars, the brand presence, mentorships. Like I've spent over $300,000 on self-development and mentors. And I'll give you this analogy. I was at a mastermind, I think this was 2 years ago, and there was a good friend. His name's Mo. He has like some Medicare agency or something, and he was like, everybody in the room, I want you to keep your hand up. Drop your hand once we pass your number of how much you've invested in self-development. He was like 10,000. Everybody's hands are up. 20,000. Everybody's hands are up. 50,000. I'm like, okay, I'm close. 100,000. My hand goes down. He goes all the way up to like 1 million. And there's like one last person whose hand is raised. And that person happened to be making significantly more money than everybody else in the room.
Wow.
And it was like a direct correlation. And when I saw that, I was like, wait, why have I only spent at this time like 100,000 on self-development?
What a great exercise.
Yeah, and it was a direct pattern. Like even when hands went down, the second to last people were the second highest income of made the most or built the biggest businesses. And I just saw that correlation, and it's funny because I don't know any other 22-year-olds that have spent as much on themselves and self-development as I have. It's almost like I have a competitive mindset, not where I want to see anyone lose.
Right.
I want all of my enemies at their full health. I want to win on an even playing field. But when I'll make a bold move that I know others aren't willing to make, like buying a fucking hypercar, it almost makes me like, it makes me smile a little bit. And then I'll see the reactions online. I'll see the other 22-year-olds. Oh, the guys online, they're just creating debt, and they'll have their own copes. But I was willing to climb a mountain you weren't willing to.
Bro, excuses after excuses. That's all people make.
I think after I did the unveiling, everybody on Instagram became a financial advisor. Everybody was like, oh, liabilities over assets, don't do it. I'm like, you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, and this isn't, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm saying when I saw other people winning, I never discredited people.
Right.
I never felt the need to drag somebody down when they had a spotlight. I want you to have your spotlight, and I want to have my spotlight as well.
Yeah.
And I mean successful people. I don't mean chumps. I mean like guys that make good money criticizing me online. And I went, we'll see where this goes in 5 to 10 years, right? When I first moved to Miami 2.5 years ago, I didn't have the same wisdom I have now. I was a reckless kid in a Lambo. And what drove me was people saying, yeah, we'll come back in 3 years, when I first got here. And if I didn't have that hate, if I didn't have the people that doubted me, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Right, to prove them wrong.
Yeah. I always say I have an unconquerable soul that's unwilling to accept long-term defeat. Now, I say long-term for a reason. Because I've been punched in the face before, had black eyes, been knocked down, had my head down temporarily. But I went, in 2 to 3 years, we'll see where this goes, right? Like I was never willing to stay down. I've always been knocked down. I've been at the bus stop and been called the N-word and been laughed at by the pretty girls at school. And I may be knocked down now, but I'm unwilling to stay down, right? Like, even when I've almost, it just felt like life was ending. Like, I had situations in high school where I didn't do the right thing. Maybe I stole in somebody's backpack because I thought that's how you make money. I'm getting jumped after school, beat up, high school, 2,500 students. My mom was my mental guide. And when I'd come home with black eyes and shit, she'd go, Vincent, I know it may not look like it. It may look like the end of the world right now. But this is like a small little bump in the path of your success. And that gave me hope. That gave me optimism where I was like, okay.
It's a good mom.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so it's a small little bump. She gave me that other perspective. And I'm forever grateful for that,
That's incredible.
Yeah, my success isn't just me. I guess it's mindsets compounded over time.
For sure. Why do you think there's so much hate towards you?
I think it's because I've become unrelatable. When I first started my self-improvement journey, when I was 6 months into the gym, everybody loved me. Didn't have a beard, right? I was still skinny a little bit. Just a relatable kid.
Right.
And people are like, man, you go. Kill it. Awesome, bro. Keep it up. And I think it was after 8 months, I actually started to build a frame at this time. I was in much better shape than I am now, but I started to build a frame and actually become a man.
Right.
And that's when the same exact people that cheered me on, they went, yeah, steroids. Yeah. I used to like him, but he just changed a little bit. And I was like, wait, I was doing this for you guys. Like, where'd the support go? Where'd the love go?
Right.
And it was a different type of fuel after that. And I think, when you buy a BMW, then they're like, yeah, the money changed them. Then you buy a Lambo and they go, yeah, it's a rental. And then you buy a nicer car and a nicer. I think I've reached a point now where people look at me and go, fuck this dude. It's just completely unrelatable.
I get what you mean.
And it's not even like achievable for most young guys, right? And especially older guys hate me too, like, fuck this 22-year-old that's just, whatever.
Yeah, salty motherfuckers who couldn't make it.
Yeah, and I have no resentment towards them because I know them more than they know themselves. It's like I know their mentality. And the reason I always loop back where I started, like I'm like 17-year-old high school dropout, absolute loser, is because that gives people a different perspective where they're like, oh shit, this motherfucker was just like me.
Right.
So yeah, I know that's why people hate. And the hate used to really get under my skin when I first started posting online.
Yeah.
Because when you grind your ass off for just my first year, I've never worked that hard on anything. Every single day, I ended up working my way up to 5,000 calories a day. I ended up working up to 200 grams of protein.
That shit is hard, bro.
Exactly. We're tall ass motherfuckers too.
It's hard.
Like at 6'5", right? I'm like force feeding till 3 a.m. at night.
It's a huge frame.
I'd wake up at midnight. I'd drink a mass gainer shake. I'd go back to sleep.
Wow.
And in that year, for me to work that hard and expect the same cheer and positivity that I got and to just get absolutely hated, that lit a fire under me where I couldn't sleep. I was like, Mom, why are these people hating on me when they wanted me to start this journey? They were cheering me on.
Right.
And I don't know what my mom had to say to that, but she was like, Vincent, it's not that deep, etc. I've taken everything personal. And I think that's the number one reason that I'm successful. I take stuff so personal, not like I do anything petty. Like I take it so personal, I transmute that energy towards my journey of success. Even when like a girl broke my heart, I'd be like, Mom, you don't get it. I'm like, you don't, she placed the bet against my future. But my mom was like, Vincent, maybe she wasn't the right one. I was like, no, it's not that she wasn't the right one. It's like, she didn't see me as a suitable option to live the rest of her life with. You don't get it. And she'd say, Vincent, that's a bad mindset to have. You can't do that. But that was the mindset that created Vincent Fischer, right? So like even now I'll find different battles. I'll see the guys online that have made 100 million plus that'll go, yeah, this kid's just doing this, that, and whatever.
Right.
And I don't take it personal like I'm going to go leave hate comments on their account.
Right.
But like, am I thinking about that at 3 a.m. and going, yeah, they're going to see me there a little bit quicker. That's what I do all the time, so.
Who are these guys that you're looking at?
Just I don't even know their names, honestly. I'll just see a guy who looks a little bit older, successful, boom. Now, some of them, it's like playful stuff.
Right.
Like some of
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
I'm just messing around. Like, I don't know, what's his name? Mark Shapiro. I don't have any beef with him. It was like a funny like play around type of thing. I could tell he's a cool dude in person. But I mean, guys that I could tell aren't messing around, right? Like, and these aren't like these aren't laughable people. These are serious competitors.
Oh yeah.
But I always say like the best blessing that God could give you is a powerful enemy. Because when I first got to Miami too, there was guys making $1 million a month or so. They would say, "You're gonna fail. You don't even understand what you're doing." And that was why I got to $1 million a month, just because of that. I didn't even see myself as worthy of that. But I went, what is this person who's ahead of me see in me that I don't see in myself?
Right.
A lot of the time, your haters and your doubters, they believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And I went, I must have something special then, right? Because if I was just a homeless person, would I be getting hated on? Probably not. But God will place those enemies in your life as, you know, a standard of where you can get to as well. Right, like the kids in high school that had the Mercedes at the time from their parents, and I'm at the
I know
bus
those
stop.
kids. Yep.
They have no humility because they don't you can't have humility if you don't have an experience.
There's no struggle.
Yeah, exactly. So like the evil in their eyes and like, you know, nigger, you know, N-word, and it wasn't a joke though. Like, not that I'm offended by it, but it was just like I could see in their soul and wow, this person has zero humility. It's not even a joke.
But at this point, it's almost like, yeah, I am that nigga.
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
yeah. But it's funny because at that time I was in high school. I was 5'4", and I was extremely skinny.
wow, what a growth spurt you had.
Yeah. I have like stretch marks on my knees and shit.
That's crazy.
But I wasn't in a position to even talk back, right? I'd read so many self-development books. I read The Art of War. You know, the best warrior knows which battles to enter and which not.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be talking smart to this dude who's 6'5" in high school, right? Like, but I was just to myself and I was quiet, and I was just, you know, absorbing all of that energy of wanting to prove people wrong. And I don't think that's a bad thing, you know what I mean? Because that was what drove me at that time. That's my biggest driving factor.
Yeah.
And it still is. Like, I love getting criticism. I don't know why it fuels me, but that's how my mind is wired, you know?
I saw you do an interview where you were saying that you don't have any routines. Go into that for me, please.
So I don't have any.
I love that.
Yeah. I don't have any set routine where it's like, you know, this podcast, if we align to time, I'm going to line that up. If I have meetings with one-on-one clients, I'm lining those up. Anything outside of that, though, I don't have a list of do this, wake up and do that, do this, do that. I have a list in my notes, and it's titled shit to do. And I label everything in order of importance.
Got it.
Right? It'll say, you know, set up new offshore structure, set up new bank account for that structure, get Dubai visas, you know, just stuff that'll do order of importance. And when something new pops up that's more urgent than the rest of it, I'll put it at the top of the list. Once I clear it, you know, I'll erase the message. If it's still pending, I'll put parentheses and put pending, and I'll go off of that list. Because there's some stuff that's just at the bottom.
Right.
Like getting a new dog cage is like at the bottom if I have other more important stuff. So I have a list of order of importance, but I wake up at 11, 12. I guess it's gotten gradually earlier because I used to wake up at like 5 p.m. when I didn't have a schedule.
Okay.
Then it went to like 3, then it went to 12. Now, I mean, today it was like 10, 11. But I've never had a set routine because that messes up flow state. Like everything in my life has to flow. Like I told my girl this yesterday. I was like, I got rich because I'm extremely lazy. Like it wasn't even about the cars and the nice stuff. I wanted to have the luxury to fuck off.
Got it.
So I was giving my girl a pep talk of like, don't ask me to send somebody money. Just go get my wallet, right? Like, don't ask me to go get the dog cage downstairs. Pay somebody to do that. Don't ask me to pay the cleaning lady. Like, you're the organizer now. You're the head of the house where you're the manager and I can focus on work.
Right.
But it's the same thing with my business too. My sales manager, I'm like, hey, I'm going to a podcast right now. Knock out this SOP, do that, do this. And everything's like down the ladder a little bit. But that stems from laziness. Like if I wasn't lazy, if I was really hardworking, I'd be working a job right now.
Right.
But I was like, how do I get to the point where I can do nothing? Like I could literally disappear from my businesses for probably like, I'd say a good 2-3 months before they'd collapse. But there'd be 2-3 months of still making high 6 figures a month just because I'm the systems guy.
Right.
All I do is I'll build digital real estate online. People think I'm just an entertainer. Like I manage my own team.
How big is your team?
My team right now is, it depends what sector, right? Because if we take the sales side, I think I have 15 dudes now, which isn't huge. If we take like the clipping side, the marketing side, I have thousands of people all day on their phones in CapCut, lining up clips and editing. So like leverage is the biggest key to success that most people don't understand. Like when people see somebody that's really successful online, like you or me, they think we do everything ourselves.
Right.
But we don't, we have leverage, right? Like, you know, I don't like when people say, well, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Not because I'm hating on that, but the most successful people don't have 24 hours in a day. If I have thousands of people working under me and I have their 24 hours too, I don't have 24 hours in a day. I have, let's just say 24,000 plus hours in a day.
You have way more. Yeah. 100%.
So that's how people are able to get
a great way to
rich.
see it.
Yeah, that's how people are able to reach crazy standpoints so fast because they understand leverage. I had a mentor who told me, Vincent, if something's not paying you $10,000 in the hour, don't do it. And I was like, wait, what is that? What does that mean? Like, but I like doing certain things. He's like, don't do it. And I was like, okay. I don't get on phone calls with people unless they paid me over 5 figures. I don't go meet up with people unless they have over 5 to 6 figures. It's just leverage. Everything else, I have somebody else that can do that. And I probably shouldn't talk about this much because I think this is why my sales team left, because they're like, Vince, what the fuck? Yo, I'm doing everything. But these are the principles of what makes a successful man. Like, I think there's 3 sides to social media from what I've understood over the last like 4 years or so. There's marketing, there's sales, and there's fulfillment. Mm-hmm. All 3 of those things I have delegated, right? I have a head of sales that manages the managers underneath, that manages the closers, that manages the setters and the dialers. I have, you know, the marketing side. I have a manager for that manages the thousands of editors and clippers. I have a guy that I send my podcast links to. I'll send him a link after this. He'll clip up all the reels. And then I have fulfillment, where I onboard people, but I also have success coaches, only proven people that have made multiple 6 figures online.
Got it.
But they'll manage that sector. And then I'm the top of that. What I'm trying to do now is get a VP and just be above that and not have to do practically anything. And that's freedom, right? Like a lot of people want financial freedom, but the way to financial freedom is like the hard way is the easy way.
Yes.
The hard way of learning all of the bullshit, investing hundreds of thousands of dollars and putting your head down for 3 years to have a lifetime of freedom is easy, right? Because the way that people think is easy, like let me just get a job, let me work. That's hard because I don't want to work till I'm 80.
Possible.
Yeah. But it's just I don't know if I think
we've been brainwashed, Vincent. We're all brainwashed.
Yeah.
This whole society has been brainwashed to believe that that's normal and that's what everyone should be doing.
Mm-hmm. And as I progress through my business journey, I no longer have resentment for the people that do want to work, because they're so beneficial to society.
I agree. Oh, we need them. Mm-hmm. We need workers.
Yeah.
100%. Not everyone can do what we do. It's not for everybody. It takes a certain level of risk, a certain level of fortitude, a certain level of being comfortable with the uncomfortable.
And I'll show you this. It's funny because people don't know I'm the systems guy, but I always say you can either climb the corporate ladder or you can build your own corporate ladder. I have a corporate ladder in my company. I don't even know if the camera's gonna show this, but I have a corporate ladder in my company of when somebody starts working for me, They can be at the bottom, in the trenches.
That's really cool.
Once they work hard enough, they get a raise, they get an ascension, and the ladder just keeps going up.
Right there. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And it's funny because everybody around me, like I'm a very generous person. And like I was speaking to my girl about this last night of like, I get used because I'm generous. She's like, Vincent, people just know you're like the nice guy when they meet you in person and they'll tax you. Like my detailer yesterday, he's like, yo, 700. My editor, 10-minute video, it's 1.5K. And I was like, I'm going to start being an asshole. I was like, asshole Vincent. My sales team left when I paid them more than anybody in the industry. And my mom used to tell me, she's like, Vincent, pay everybody fair. And that's the principle I live by. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. Why don't more big CEOs, why aren't their guys rich? But I made my guys rich and they left. You know what I mean? Like I've given these guys $50,000 a month, or they have hundreds of thousands saved. They're traveling the world. They got a few hoes now. And then they're like, man, fuck Vince. You know what I mean? I'm going to do my own thing.
They might come back.
Yeah, they will.
They might see that the reality out there is not what they think.
Yeah, they will for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's now I'm seeing why some people do hold back. And there has to be some more challenge to getting paid. Pay the least are the hardest working for me. The people I pay the most get entitled. I don't know why that is. Like this, I don't know if there's a lesson in this. I'm just saying like an observation of why I almost get why the system is set up how it's set up. It's set up to where you make just enough to where you have to come back. That's the corporate ladder you're in if you don't have your own.
Right.
Where people purposefully give you just enough to scrape by. To where, damn, I got to clock in more hours. I got to do this. I got to do that. So like when you have awareness, you can see that pattern and the, I guess, the hamster wheel that you're in.
Right. Which
is what I always had. It took me 3 days to work a normal job. And this wasn't a normal, this was like, bro, I'm like scrubbing dishes. I'm bussing tables. I'm cleaning the damn bathrooms. It was hell. But the reason God gave me that experience is because for those 3 days, I was so analytical about everything. We're like, I don't need 5 years to figure that out. This isn't what I want to do.
Right.
It was 3 days for me where I was like, yeah, if I'd rather be homeless, I'm leaving this spot right now. But I read a lot of self-development. So the rich dad, poor dad principle. I didn't work to earn, I worked to learn. And I was like, okay, why am I here scrubbing dishes? Why are the attractive females at the bar getting tips? Right? Why are the guys that are better at communication serving? Why are the fry cooks here? Why is the owner of this shop outside with a cigarette writing me a $100 check?
You're basically like reverse engineering everything.
Everything. Yeah, absolutely everything. And as soon as I saw the pattern, I left. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And people's most expensive mistake is being a one-man army when you're competing against teams. That's the biggest thing.
Hold on. Say that one more time. Because that was a gem.
Yeah. So people's biggest mistakes is wanting to be a one-man army when you're competing against teams.
That's so true, bro.
Mm-hmm. I'd look like a one-man army online, but I just said I have thousands of men behind me.
Right.
And all those men get paid more than fairly, as I've mentioned. But how can you fail? Like it has to be bigger than you too. Like I have a team that depends on me too.
Yeah.
We're like, to be a leader of a team, like what type of person does that take? For somebody to go, man, I trust in his leadership. I believe his vision is so good, his dream is so big that my dream can live within it.
Right.
Because if you don't have that, if people don't see that next step of opportunity, like the ladder I showed you, then they'll leave.
Right.
So that's what I had to learn the hard way. But I also said this in the story yesterday, which I mentioned. From not having a sales team, like from making $700,000-800,000 a month to my entire sales team leaving, within 3 days, I built a 7-figure sales team that's already collected over $100,000 in those 3 days from having nothing.
That's crazy.
And that just explains the value of information and knowledge.
Yes.
There was this show I used to watch. It was called like Undercover Billionaire. You heard of that show?
With Grant Cardone, who was on it.
Yeah, Grant Cardone, the dude before him. And they'd leave these billionaires in the middle of nowhere and they'd be able to make like a 7-figure business in 90
Crazy,
days.
right?
Uh-huh. And that was what showed me like, oh shit. Like I used to think like, oh, he was born into it.
Right.
Oh, well, he's just lucky. But when you give somebody a situation that seems like there's nearly no luck, they're still able to work their way through it and become successful. So success isn't just about what you have. It's about your knowledge, because that's the only thing that can't be taken from you.
Right.
I could lose everything right now. I mean, kind of like I a little bit did, not exactly, and just rebuild, because I'm like the systems guy in the back end. I've always thought this in my head, and I think I've said this once online. When I do something, I want to be the best at it. I'm a nerd at heart. I'm a nerd that's built this, I guess, frame, physique, status, and I look like the asshole online, but I'm the guy that is really like studying until 3 a.m. Like I'm learning from mentors ahead of me. I have some mentors that are in Inc. 5000, and they're like, Vince, this is what you're missing. That's what you're missing. And I'm like, damn, okay. I'm writing stuff down. And the reason these people resonate with me so much, yeah, I paid them one, but they get paid a lot of money. Money doesn't change whether somebody messes with you or not.
Right.
But what my mentors tell me is, Vincent, it's not about just the result. Like, you listen and implement more than the last 100 dudes I was on the phone call with. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still coaching you and mentoring you and et cetera.
Can you share who your mentor is?
So I've had a lot. My number one mentor right now, who's helping me with systems, is Mike Barron. So I did a podcast with him. Also,
That's powerful.
Yeah, also a very misunderstood dude online.
Yeah.
I always go, I'm like, Mike, why are you being the hood Asian dude online? In the background, you're a nerd just like me, bro. And he's like, man, I'm fucking from the hood, except like some people have that. They have like the two sides, right? Like my first mentor had that too. He was like half ghetto, weed, hood, and then in the background, nerdy on the charts. And I'm like, okay. I mean,
It'd be like that.
You could say I'm like that too. I'll talk shit online, and then I'm like nerdy in the background and super generous. But what I've found is, a lot of the time, the bad guys online are like the most genuine people offline.
It's almost like an alter ego that you have to create, right? You got to go into that energy and that persona to be able to execute properly.
And on the flip side, people that are loved online are usually disingenuous in person.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
They're
that.
assholes.
Where they're like, yeah, bro, not right now, bro. Yeah, bro. I hate going outside because people just say, and I'm like, damn. Okay, but why is the world set up like that? I don't even know the answer to that. Why? But it was like that in high school too. I think of the world now in like Miami, like a high school.
Oh yeah.
And there's like the popular kids. There's the kids that stick to themselves. There's different types of people. But even in high school, the most liked people were usually the people with zero humility. Zero.
Mean girls.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's funny how the world works in patterns. It's almost similar to how the structure of the universe is similar in proportion to the structure of an atom. It's almost like how veins and blood vessels,
as above, so below,
are almost similar to like a river or a creek.
Yep.
Right. So you can do the same exact thing with success and social dynamics. High school is kind of like Miami. And it's kind of like I learned from everybody's business with that principle that the universe is pretty similar. I'll sit down with somebody that has a hormone clinic.
Okay.
Like, okay, what's your client acquisition? He's like, Vince, we sell the doctors.
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
Doctors sell the people, but with the doctors, we choose them selective. And then I'm like writing stuff down. I'm like, how can I apply that to like what I'm doing? How can I apply that to coaching, et cetera?
Right.
I've even seen my own inefficiencies now, because somebody could look at me and go, Vince, you did everything perfect, bro. No, because I'll know some guys that are 20 that have exited a $20 million software company. And I'll go, that's my own inefficiency. I've been playing the cash flow game. I need to play the equity game. Now I'm investing 6 figures into a software, right? But it's constant criticism and it's just constant improvement. That's what I'm after.
Right. Trial and error.
I love the growth. I don't even like
Yeah.
the result anymore.
I know what you mean.
I never sat in the car that I bought and went, damn, yo, I really did it. I really pulled it. I had that a while back, you know? And then I'll get the car. It'll sit in the garage.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
Do you fit in that car?
No, I don't even, I'm like this. I'm like, yo, boys, listen, I'm making the stories. I'm like, yo, boys, I never fit in the SVJ. I never fit in anything. That's another sale. Even money itself, I'll get paid like now. I won't even like, I used to see $20 and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, $20. Now I'll see 107,000 on the day and I'll go, yeah, it's just, and a part of that's depressing. A part of that is, you realize the first stage of what got you from zero to hero isn't the next stage that's going to get you from hero to master.
Yeah.
What I mean is like my biggest motivation was like, I guess like escaping scarcity, not poverty. I was never born in a poor family.
Putting survival so far behind you.
Yeah. Where it's like my goal, like when I got to Miami and like started buying dumb shit, yo, I got to pay my rent, bro. How am I? Yo, it's $4,500 at the end of every month. Like people online, they'll say, you know, what people do now, they're financially irresponsible. Upgrade your income, don't upgrade your lifestyle. I think those are like the weakest men that don't understand the game of real zero to hero.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's kind of like the gym. Like if I were to say, hey, listen, I know you normally do 135 on bench, but like don't up it to 150 because if you up it to 150, it's too much stress. But what if the stress was exactly what you needed to get to the next level and grow? That's why I do stuff that'll look dumb surface level, but it's my own game. You know, like I've invested private equity to where I'm going to be set up if everything falls off. But I'm not even fueled by buying assets. Like I don't know. There's nothing about that that's like, fuck, now I gotta go crazy.
Right.
What does it for me is fun shit. Just stupid stuff. Just dumb. 100,000 blown in Dubai. I get home, I'm like, fuck. Did we make more than that there? Yeah, but I blew 100,000. Fuck, I need to make that back. You know, like, I don't know. Yeah, like that's my motivation and fuel.
Life experience about it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I had a health scare at the beginning of this year.
Did you really?
I'll tell you this is crazy. After I had the health scare, I wanted to set up life insurance.
Okay.
Because I know what happened to my dad. I know it's probably going to happen to me by like 50. No life insurance company wanted to accept me.
Why?
Health issues. I have the same health issues my dad had. So my dad had like kidney disease, high blood pressure, heart disease, the whole 9 yards. I had high blood pressure since I was born, kidney disease. The life insurance companies, when I wanted to give them millions, wouldn't give me a policy.
Wow.
So that's another reason I enjoy life that people don't look at. If we're in this game of like, well, my number's here and I'm not experiencing life and my number's going to keep climbing.
Right.
I mean, when you die, what happens, right? Like,
Can't take that money with you.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I didn't have health issues so I could set up life insurance, but at the same time, that's more fuel for me to get even richer, right? Because I don't have that multiplier now. I can't do the Rockefeller play. But I had this health scare where we were in like the Bahamas or some shit, first time in a jet. I was like, fuck, why the fuck did I spend $20,000 on jets and shit there and back? But I'm at this Popeyes in the Bahamas, and I go to use the restroom, and there's blood in my urine. And I was like, what the hell is going on, right? Like, I don't operate with fear, though. I'm completely analytical because I've had too much trauma in my life where, like, erase my emotions. But I went, damn. Like, strategically, life is a game to me.
Right.
So I'm like, I know
what you mean.
I'm like, I don't want my player to die. But
Can't respawn.
yeah. Let me see what the cause of this is. Let me find out if I'm going to die first. Let me get it checked out.
Right.
Got it checked out. Everything was good. But in that moment of seeing blood in my urine, and not like a little bit of blood, like, oh shit, you know, I went, well, if I do go out now, I fucking lived it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I inspired people. I bought nice cars. I did cool shit. And then I realized on the flip side of that, so many people wouldn't be able to say the same thing.
So many.
They wouldn't be able to have a near-death experience and go, man.
And be remembered.
I lived it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was when buying dumb shit wasn't something I shamed myself for. It was something that was the most important thing to me when I was thinking about my last moments, right? Which wasn't my last one. He's like, Vince, you got till 50. But at 50, I know I'm going to need a damn kidney transplant. Hopefully, technology's advanced. But I don't have a desire to live forever either.
Right.
I don't even have a desire to live till 70, 80. I'm so like aligned with what I'm here to do that if I do go out, I won't be mad.
You want kids?
For sure, yeah. I want as many kids as I can have, God willing. But yeah, I've just had so much detachment from losing the most important person in the world to me at the time, which was my father.
Yeah.
And it was so challenging to me because I was like, why'd this happen? This wasn't supposed to happen. Like, if there is a God, I feel like I hate him. Why did this happen? And then over my life journey, I started to just get closer with God again. I was completely away from God when my dad passed. I'm stealing, I'm doing dumb shit, I'm fucking people over. And I had to reconnect with God over just years and years. But then I trust God so much that I know everything happens for a reason. I know if I get dragged through the mud, when my sales team left, of course I'm analytical and I'm like, I'm going to rebuild.
Right.
But if I do end up, going broke or whatever, I still trust God. I still trust that everything is playing out exactly how it's supposed to for me to reach the position that I want or for me to do what I'm here to do. Because sometimes you don't even know what you're here to do.
Right.
I didn't know when I was born I was going to be a role model to men that didn't have father figures. The life experiences didn't play out. Now, when I lost my dad, I didn't even know it then. But now I know it. Now I'm like, oh, shit. Now I can talk to the guys that don't have a male role model or maybe somebody that passed away. And me and my mom talk about this. My mom's a therapist. But it's funny because in lineage, I feel like life purposes align. Because I'm somewhat a therapist. I'm just a little bit more like stern and strict and hard-headed. My mom will go,
right.
Hey, did you think about why you did that? My mom is in the highest security prisons, like the highest security, dealing with just people with schizophrenia, people
Wow.
that have gone psycho and killed their whole families.
In Arizona?
In Arizona, yeah. Just highest level of security. Face to face with them, chained up.
Wow.
Somebody that murdered their family,
So
chained up.
kind of like Hannibal Lecter.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
something
yeah.
crazy. But I won't say it because it's policy work. It's all NDA stuff. I can't talk about it. But she'd tell me these stories, behind the scenes, if we're on camera, that she wouldn't tell me the full story. But she'd tell me these stories of these people that were psychotic, but there was a heart somewhere in them. Like there was a human being inside of them.
Right.
There's just so many demons and bullshit. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because in the most extreme scenarios, like I was able to draw, I was able to learn about the mind through my mom. Like my mom was not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. So a psychiatrist prescribes medicine, et
Right.
cetera. A psychologist knows you can fix the mind. And she'd really fix these people that did bad things, that are locked up for life.
incredible.
And she'd make them good people. So I do the same thing to some degree. Not that extreme, but like I'm a little bit more tough love and I work with young men. And I won't allow them to have weak mindsets. I'll be like, bro, you're blaming all these external things. Vince, first my job fired me, then I'm not the social media guy. Vince, what do you deal with stress? Now, I don't go, hey, this is how you work. I go, stop being a bitch, bro. Right? I'm like, you're a full-grown man, figure it out, right? But then I'll dive deeper. I'll be like, listen, bro, this is why you're not getting the results you want. You have this incorrect thinking pattern. But I fix men's minds. So I was talking to my mom about this. I was like, it's interesting we do something that's a little bit similar. Mine is a little bit more so like financial freedom focused. Hers is more so like, being a good parent, role model to your kids outside the jails. She sells high ticket now too, which is dope.
That's awesome. You put your mom onto it? That's cool.
Yeah. So she's doing the same thing I'm doing now. But I talked to my mom about this. When you're purpose driven, like where you're supposed to be, you get goosebumps. Like you get goosebumps and this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I am. And that's how I feel at work. That's how I feel when I'm on with these young guys. And that's how I know I'm in alignment with my purpose.
You wake up energized for life,
Yeah.
Because you got a purpose. You got a why. That's your question. Do you talk to your dad? Is that something that you do?
Through a few dreams.
Yeah.
Like a few dreams. So like when my dad passed away, extremely sad, depressed, I've had a few comforting dreams. I don't know if it's chemicals in the mind. I don't know what it is. But I've had dreams like my dad used to play sports. Like he didn't play sports because he was sick, but he'd take me to sports and he'd be like, man, Vince, I'm tired, man, but I'm gonna let you go out there. I'll be watching. And my dad built my mind too of like success. Like he'd take me skateboarding and shit. He'd be like, Vincent, you got to slide down this hill. He's like, just commit to the fall. You're trying to escape the fall. I'd ride bikes. He'd be like, you're using your legs. You're gonna break your leg if you do that. He's like, just ride with it.
Right.
And he's like, Vincent, if you're gonna fail trying. Like he taught me about like failure in life. And when I got knocked down, he's like, yep. But like this was very short because I'm 8 years old and he passed. But I've had dreams where like in my dreams, it's the past because I used to go back and forth from my mom and dad's house because they weren't together when I was born. My mom says I'm a surprise. I'm like, Mom, I was an accident. But anyways, it's funny because I used to go back and forth. My mom and dad always respectful relationship, but back and forth, my mom would be like, you don't know how much I love your mom. My mom was like, you don't know how much, I love your dad. So they were just separated. But in my dreams, I remember I had a dream with my dad. We were on the baseball field. And we were just catching up. He said, hey, man, how you been doing, man? You still doing school? I was like, no. He's like, oh, man, it's no worries, man. It's no worries. And he's like, man, you killing it now? This was before I was really successful. And I was like, yeah. And I remember when the dream ended, I was like, am I going to your place or am I going to Mom's place tonight? Because I used to ask him that when I was 8. And that was the last dream I could remember. It was the last thing I could remember. But the funniest thing about death, like I've gotten to witness one of my role models, like, disintegrate in front of me. When my dad was more healthy and alive, he was so worried about little shit like, yo, Vince, you need to get good grades. You need to do this. You need to be here. Where's your iPod? When I watched him when he was dying, though, he went, man, Vince, what happened to that iPod I got you? I was like, I don't know. I lost it. Somebody stole it. Oh, man. How your grades doing, man? Nah, I don't know. They're messed. Like all the stuff that's so important now, when you're about to die, is no longer important.
No, perspective shifted.
So it's like even now I live from the end. I live from like, man, we're all like apes on a fucking floating rock and we're all gonna die.
Literally.
So like, why do we take life so serious? This is bad. Like I don't take anything serious to the degree I can't get stressed.
Right.
Because I'm like outside of the game. You know what I mean? There's the 100%. Game going. I'm not in the game though, I'm outside of the game and I'm kind of like, it is what it is. Like I don't operate with fear. Like, and it's funny because my girl, a woman always tests a man, right? Like it's just natural with relationship. But my girl will be like, oh, you're scared of this and you're scared of that. I was like, I don't have fear. There's nothing that I'm scared of. But it's funny because my girl, me and my girl had a talk yesterday. It's a little bit off topic, but me and my girl were talking yesterday. And there's something called like a shit test that a girl will naturally do. Because I've read a lot of self-development. One of the books was The Way of the Superior Man.
Yep, I've read that book.
And it pretty much explains like, no matter how much your girl loves you, she's going to test your authority.
Oh, yes.
And that's not going to happen from like a conversation. It's going to happen from like blatant disrespect or sarcasm. And a strong man is going to go just solid like a rock in a mountain and not be moved. A weak man is, you did this, you did that, and be offended by that. So I was talking to my girl yesterday, and I was like, just hyping myself up, talking shit. I was like, I always keep my word. I live what I preach, etc. She's like, yeah, you don't live what you preach. And I looked her in the eyes because we were having arguments, and she's like, oh, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why this, that. I went, Ksenia, you did that because you're a female, which is what you're gonna do. And I understand that my girl's always going to do that. My girl's always going to have bullshit to say. She doesn't do it. She doesn't disrespect me all the time.
It's almost her job to test you.
Yeah. Because if you were a woman, like I said, this is animal kingdom. If there's like lions or something, the woman's always going to want to see like, is my man who he says he is?
Right.
Because I'm talking about who I say I am. And then she goes, yeah, you don't keep your word though. And I go, Ksenia, that was really disrespectful. I was like, right now, that made me angry, right? But I'm super calm. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, etc. And so many men fail this test. Like so many men want the world to be the way that it's not. And I used to be a victim to that. Like 2 years ago when I first got my girl, why is she throwing disrespect randomly? And why is she saying this? And why is she saying that? I'm going to find a girl that doesn't do that. But then I just learned that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, they all do that.
It's the nature of life, So like, but it's not just about relationships. People think I'm just like, the reason I'm explaining this, people think I'm just the money guy. And they think there's a piece of me that goes to sleep at night unfulfilled. No, I have money. I have a great relationship. My family's taken care of. I have great mental health. And I think that's why God's chosen me as a role model. That's why God said, Vincent, you can step up to this throne where young men can listen to you. Because I wasn't always like that. I used to be like just toxic, future, didn't like girls, wasn't a role model for men, posting different girls in clubs. And I went, why isn't my following growing? Why am I not getting more people that are following me? I have high quality videos of this girl giving me hookah and me going to the Lambo with this girl and spending the next day with this girl. And I just got humbled by God. Like my success halted. And I was on the verge of losing everything. And I had to submit. I was like, fuck, there's something bigger than me that I don't know about. And I had a friend named Akil who I think lives in Fort Lauderdale now. And he was like, Vincent, I want you to rethink what you're posting, bro. You got this girl, that girl. I was like, man, Akil, what are you talking about, bro? I look cool as shit. I got the hose with me. He's like, Vince, how do you want to be seen, bro? I'm like, man, I want to be seen as like the James Bond, the guy with the girls. He's like, Vincent, are you fulfilled? And then I went, damn, there is a piece in my heart that's empty.
Right.
And he went, if that's how you feel, then what are you teaching your followers? And I went, damn, I'm teaching people an unfulfilled blueprint of life. And that's why I'm not growing. He went, Vincent, I'm not holding you to it, but tomorrow's Sunday, it's church, it's 8 a.m. I was like, Akil, I don't wake up at 8, I wake up at 12, bro. We'll see. But the next day I woke up like bright and early, energized. And I was like, man, let me drive to his church, whatever he's talking about. And the preacher at this church was talking about influence and how all these prophets have power and influence over people. And if you don't use your influence to serve God and push a positive message, you're as a byproduct serving the devil. And I went, I'm serving the devil with my content.
That light bulb went off in your head.
Yeah. And when I'm using these tools, the Lamborghinis, the Rolls Royces, to promote lust and unfulfillment and an empty feeling at night when you get home. And then I switch my message. 8 days after I went to church, my following grew by 60,000 followers in those 8 days. My business started booming more than ever. And I went from a halt in my business to just an upward spiral ever since that just hasn't stopped.
What do you think the shift was exactly?
I think it was using my influence correctly. And it was just humbling of just knowing it's not just me. Because Akil told me, my friend who got me in church, he said, Vincent, it's not even me.
It's a good friend.
Yeah, he went, but Vincent, this isn't me though. He's like, I had a calling from God to tell you this. He's like, I'm just the messenger. And I've never connected with Akil that much after. Like I've never talked to him that deep after that. But for some reason in that moment, he got goosebumps and wanted to tell me this. The guy that wasn't as poppin', guy with 50K followers, just another Miami influencer. But he's like, this isn't me talking to you. This is God. And I was like, damn. And it's just moments and coincidences like those that built my relationship over time, where I'm gonna always put making God happy over my own success. I've gotten gambling deals. Yeah, hey guys, hey Vince, other guys in your niche, they have the same influence as you. They have these multi-million-dollar a month contract. I don't want that shit. I don't want a damn contract. But I didn't have these tests when I was rich. I had these tests when I was broke, before Akil came to me. I had these tests. Yo, Vince, bro, there's OF management, bro. You manage these models, but look at how much this dude's. You can make like hundreds of thousands a month, like first month. And I knew it wasn't right, and I said no. It's like, I don't want to do that. It's like, I'd rather be broke. I'd rather struggle right now. And it was all those tests that I passed. And I'm not saying that, I'm not criticizing anybody who didn't pass those tests.
Right.
But that was my personal journey. And that was how my faith was tested. And that's why I'm sitting in the throne that I'm sitting in. And that's the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
I love that because, I feel that. Do you know how many people have offered me money to shoot OF content in this studio and I've said no? I'm not doing that. I'm not going to dirty this place up like that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And, bro, really fucking proud of you, man. Like, the words that you're speaking You're very
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
articulate. You're very knowledgeable. You are outside the game, right? You literally are standing out of the system, watching it. It's a crazy place to be at 22.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a powerful place to be. You know, you almost like you're Neo. You know, crack the code of the Matrix.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's so much more I have to learn too, but I always
For sure, you still are only 22.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, you got to get married, you got to be a dad. It's all these experiences that are going to come across you. But for you to be where you are at 22 with your level of intelligence and know-how and understanding of energies and frequencies and how human relations work with each other, it's crazy. It really is. It's impressive.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess a piece of that too, I always look back to the story of King Solomon, because that was what Akil told me. He's like, look at this guy biblically, had everything he wanted, every woman, every materialistic desire, and in the end, all it did was self-destructive.
Yep.
So it's funny because for me, I have a set code that happens to align with biblical principles. I just have one woman. I focus on serving others. I treat others how I want to be treated. And then that's to take care of my family. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Now, on social media, of course, I'm gonna reframe it. If we were to get into marketing, I say all the things that people know are right in an offensive way. You know what I mean? And then people are like, oh, that's not true, et cetera. But like, yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game for me. So, I mean, my goal isn't any more money. I paid $20K on a YouTube consulting coach. He's like, Vince, bro, we can make you more money here. We can do that. It's like, I don't even want any more. I don't want more money. I know more money is inevitable. But I was like, I want to have influence. I do have a desire for more influence. That's one thing that I strive for. But one secret to the universe that I'll tell you is a lot of people think that growth is I guess, linear. Like growth is progressive over time and it's one step at a time.
Right.
When it's really quantum leaps. It's really just jumps. Like every single time I've had a major breakthrough in life, I didn't spend my time, like if you were to take somebody who chops down trees, I didn't spend my time with a dull axe fucking trying to hit the tree. I sharpened the axe, just sharpen the axe in the shadows for just months and months and months and sharpen the axe. And I brought the new axe to the game and I started chopping down. That was how I've been able to quantum leap to every single level. Every single year I've 10X'd. Like I'm not even saying crazy number. I'm saying legitimate numbers 10X. Like 3 years ago, when I was in Miami and my business was failing, I was doing 10, 20,000 a month. I went from 40,000 in Arizona to 10, 20,000. The next year after that was 100,000 or so. The next year after that, now we're floating just under $1 million. The next year, I want to get to the multi-millions. Sometimes we all have limitations too. We all function on paradigms.
Yeah.
It is hard for me to conceptualize with logic 10 million now. But for some reason, I keep seeing it pop up in my life. I keep seeing the numbers. Andy Elliott will tell me, yeah, we're doing 10 million a month right now. I'll see some other influencer, you have this deal, it's 10 million a month. And I say, well, why am I seeing 10 million a month so much? And that's what I'm preparing for now. That's why I'm building the systems, the value ladders, the SOPs, because I want to multiply. And that's the number one goal. It's the growth itself. I feel like
it's inevitable.
That's the experience of life as a man. People don't get that you can have millions of dollars, but if you're not progressing, you're gonna have that empty feeling of like, damn.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's why there are many men who reach a certain level and they'll burn the whole kingdom to rebuild it because they're bored.
Yeah, yeah. That's why, I mean, when you ask successful people, what would you do if you lost everything, their eyes light up. They almost go, yeah, that'd be an interesting experience because it's like a challenge. When my mom threatened to kick me out when I wasn't doing high school, I was a competitor as a challenge. I was like, I'm gonna get my stuff right now. She's like, no, Vincent, no. Like, dude, but
She was bluffing.
At first she was like, I'm gonna kick you out if you drive. I was like, bet, let's do it. I will be homeless right now, and I'll do whatever I need to do to get food, and I'll be a millionaire. And like that was the amount of self-belief that I had. That I think at the higher levels, right? Like I can only speak for where I'm at now, but like people that have success fast and keep success over time, it's not that we don't doubt ourselves. It's that we've built the mental muscle to reject that doubt.
Right.
To where it's like a fraction of a second that it enters and it's gone. Like I even, like I could think 10 million a month. I'll think, well, Vince, you're just under $1 million. How are you gonna do 10? But then I'm able to just cast that aside so quick and think of every reason I can. I'm able to go like, well, I shouldn't even be saying that because I mean, if I went from 10 to 100 to $1 million, it's only right.
Right.
In comparison to the graph, it's inevitable. So like I'm able to prioritize optimism over pessimism.
You're able to ground yourself, right?
Exactly. It's the faith over fear. Like a lot of people, I said this in a reel, a lot of people claim to be religious and then they walk with fear their entire lives. And then they go, what if my business doesn't work? What if this happens?
Bro, there's so many of those who go to church every single Sunday and have zero faith.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because it's just that the English language has changed a lot too. Or whatever language these religions were transcripted from. I didn't know that faith was belief when I first started like reading about religion. I thought they were two separate things. And most people don't. I didn't know that, I guess, I didn't know that prayer was another symbol of, I guess, law of attraction, right? I wasn't.
Or meditation.
Yeah, I wasn't transcribing that. So like when I prayed for my dad to make it one more Christmas, right? I wasn't praying, I was begging. I was like, God, please let my dad make it, etc. And now that I know prayer, now that I know it's living in the end, that it's thanking God for what you don't even have yet, I'm able to like connect the dots. And I'll do this with ChatGPT too. I'll say like, what Bible verse relates to what I'm going through in life right now? I look to the Bible like an encyclopedia. Now, I'm not really like, I might get criticized online for this. I think that people that fight over certain religions have a little bit of a lack of intellect when there's similarities in every religion. What I mean is like when I was growing up, it was...
You're 100% right.
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was like Islam is wrong and it's Christianity and Christian, no, it's Buddhism. And I'm like, why can't we just bring this all in unison and see what they're trying to teach? And that's what I did. I dissected every single one. And I went, these are all similar. Why are people killing each other over this? You know what I mean? It's just the inefficiencies of men. But all of them are similar. And like when I go to Dubai, it's a different culture. Everybody's fully clothed and it's so peaceful. And it's just like, okay, that works for them. This works for us. That works for this group.
Right.
And it's just about the unison of it all. I feel like that's the most important thing. Religion, I look at it like a good blueprint on how to live life. That's how I see it. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll end up in fiery hell for thinking that, But I think that heaven and hell to some degree are on earth. Because I remember living a reality of near hell.
I agree with that 100%.
I think that there's states of consciousness.
Yep.
Because I remember hating my life. I remember being at the bus, hating my life, having feelings of just the lowest vibrations of just guilt, fear, envy, scarcity, like the lowest vibrations. And now I live in a state of near heaven where I'm like, I don't know how it could get much better than this. Not that I don't have problems and challenges. It's that it's such a high vibration that even the people that I meet, like you don't even run into the same people when you're on a different vibration. When I hear somebody talking about like, yeah, this friend was fake and then that friend here and this guy, I'm like, what are you attracting, bro? Like, what does that say about your own character? I'll hear guys that are like, well, Miami's just the fakest place in the world and everybody's fake as shit. And I'm like, that's not what I've noticed from what I've seen. And, you know, I don't go to the clubs.
You just can't make it there. That's why you're talking like that.
Yeah. And like, I think that even evil people, I've talked to evil people,
Oh, there's plenty out there.
but I don't get the evil side of them. Isn't that a crazy concept? I've spoken to evil people, but I've never seen the evil side of them.
Because your energy is so overpowering, it doesn't allow that evil to penetrate through.
Yeah. Yeah, like people that are literally like,
know?
yeah, this guy fucked me over and that. Then when I meet the guy, like, it's kind of like my mom in the prisons. I can see the good in everybody. Now, I'm not stupid, too. I know if somebody does have demons, I'm not going to be around them long. But yeah, I just feel like there's no weapon that God's going to put in front of me that's going to prosper. You know, it's like that's just the name of the game. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of haters, too, online. When you get enough attention, when you've gotten to the point you've gotten billions of views online,
Yeah.
there's some psychotic people that you know, 1 out of those billion, yo, let's see where this dude lives. Let's fucking pull up to his place. Let's see what time he posts his stories. Yo, guys, I just finished meetings. I'm going to the gym. I'll tell my editor, I'm like, for this fraction of the second, you left the unit number, bro. You need to blur that out. Because I've gone to the gym before. I didn't even think about this. And I had the SVJ and the Phantom at this time. I'm like, guys, just wrapped up meetings, a little bit late. I'm going to the gym. I didn't end up leaving until 2 hours later. But when I pulled up to the gym, I think they assumed I'd have the SVJ and it'd be loud. But I'm in the Phantom, just quiet at night. And I see them before they see me. And they look tired because I was there too. And I see that. I pull off. And I go, there is some evil people in the world. There is some people I can look in their eyes and know they're up to no good.
Do you carry?
I mean, this is the thing. In my penthouse, I just have a Glock 19 just in my penthouse. Now, the reason I don't take it outside, number one, I don't go anywhere I'd really need that. Brickell, place you just wouldn't need it. I think it was, I don't know who it was that said it. I think it was like Meek Mill. Or no, I don't know, 50 Cent, I think. I don't know. He said, if I'm going anywhere I need a gun, I probably shouldn't be going there. That's what I live by now. But the reason I don't have a gun in my car is because when you drive nice cars, your biggest target isn't even the public, it's police. When you're a young dude that's not white in a nice car, you are going to attract envy from some people that want power. I'm not saying that cops are bad.
Right.
Of course
But you're
not.
definitely a target. I know what you mean.
But yeah, I've had times when I got my first I-8. You know, my insurance was on the new car was $40,000 for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. But the reason that is because when I had an I-8, I was speeding a little bit, cutting a few lanes. Nothing crazy.
Right.
Nothing crazy. But a cop, the first time I got pulled over. But my mom tells me all the stories. She works in jails and in prisons and stuff.
She knows the deal.
And she's like, Vincent, hands on the steering wheel. Don't say anything disrespectful. I want to speak to my mom or a lawyer. And, you know, my hands are on the wheel. And she's already prepared me. She said, cops, they try to provoke you and they'll do dumb shit. And I'm just like, okay. And anyways, this cop's here. He's like fucking yanking the door. I-8 doors are weird.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, man, you need me to get the door, man? I was like, okay, I lift the door up. I got my wallet out because I'm assuming he's going to give me a ticket. Get in the fucking car. Get a fucking.
Really?
You fucked up today. You know, threw me in the back of the car and stuff. And I'm so like detached, right? Like I'm not a psychopath, but I'm not like, I'm not emotional. And I just see what he's doing. And I'm just sitting in the back with my handcuffs and I'm like, he's trying to provoke me right now. And I have a straight face. He's like, is there anything you want to fucking say to explain what you just did? It's like, if I could call my mom, that'd be great. And then after just driving to the police station when he's taking me to jail, it's funny because he's like, hey man, if you want to call your mom, bro, here's the phone, bro. I was like, thank you. I was like, hey mom, you know, I just got arrested with speeding and just bullshit. And he was like, all right, man, thank you. He calmed down now.
Wow.
And he realized this is evil. And he's like, man, I'm sorry that I have to do this to you, but you know,
You were an unmovable mountain.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
stood your fucking ground.
And he still gave me every ticket in the book.
For sure.
Yeah, he already
But
wrote
he
all the
calmed
tickets.
down.
But yeah, he calmed down. And when I was in the jail, I was there for a day or so. I actually saw him. I saw him there, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And he was so shameful of what he did to me, but he knew he did. Like, you can't.
How fast were you going?
I wasn't going over 80, but I was going 70, and I was cutting lanes for sure.
Got it.
but I wasn't cutting lanes to the degree you chuck somebody in a car, don't tell them the rights. And I'm not a Karen. He didn't tell me my rights, I'm gonna sue him. I don't give a fuck about that. Even when I didn't have as much money, I didn't give a fuck about that. But yeah, I mean, that experience it taught me how unmovable my mind was. Because it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I know the stupidest thing you can do is talk shit to somebody that has complete power over you.
Right.
But yeah, he was just, I just saw how.
With a gun.
Yeah. I saw how, like, I guess, like, he felt bad. And I felt bad that he fucking felt bad when he chucked me in the fucking car. You know what I mean? Like, I've always had a good heart. And it's just, when you have just good energy, even evil energy, like, it's not gonna do anything crazy. My mom showed me too much shit of half black people getting shot because they're yelling at cops.
Right.
Like, of course I'm not gonna do dumb shit, but I'm in this jail. And what I mean when I've spoken to evil people and I only get the good side of them, I'm like, yo, what's going on, big dog? My man, what's up? Hey man, what's going on, bro? You look like you shouldn't be here, bro. I'm like, yeah, man, I probably shouldn't. He's like, why are you in here? I was like, speeding. He's like, the other cops are like, you fucking locked him up for speed? What the fuck are you doing? You shouldn't be here. I was like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Anyways, I chop it up with these guys in the jail, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's completely good dudes. And I'm like, oh, what are you here for? Armed robbery. There was just guns in the car. And yeah. Aggravated assault. Completely nice to me, just cool. Like, and my mom used to have a portrait of the golden rule in our house, and it just said, treat others how you want to be treated, and that's all I do. But I don't get the evil side of people. And even when they do have an evil side, what happens is it's a one-sided attack. They don't really see me respond that much. And then they're like, fuck, damn, maybe I shouldn't have acted like that. But I think that's another reason I've succeeded, because I don't really gossip that much, right? I'm imperfect. I've gossiped before, but I don't really gossip to the degree of, like, I'm not talking about other people. I'm not dragging people down. I don't have much evil about me. And I think that's why I've been able to climb. It's just I have no karmic debt or negative energy anymore, because I once did. And that's why I've been able to climb as well, you know? So it's funny, because the reason I do podcasts now is because the image that people painted me online is actually completely different than how I am now. And one thing that
I can tell.
One thing that calms me down about that is this Bible verse. I think it was Jesus that said it. He said, if you were of the world would accept you as its own. But since I've sent you to the world, you know, it's something along the lines of, you know, the world's going to criticize. You know, if Jesus was crucified, I'm okay being hated. I'm okay being the bad guy online. Because with that, yes, I may have unlimited hate, unlimited criticism. You go on YouTube right now and find millions of views on video, Vincent Fischer, alpha male, whatever. You know, but it's just like, I know on the other side of that, I am saving lives. And I know even the YouTube channels that make the hate videos, behind the negativity, behind the monetization, they know, this dude's really not that fucking bad. And it's just a part of the game, you know? So,
I love all these guys. Who is it? Johnny Bravo.
Yeah. But I had him follow me. And it's funny because...
Shout out to Johnny Bravo.
But it's funny because he might make a hit piece on us now.
He might.
But it's funny because I had him follow me, and I didn't follow him back because I didn't follow him back not because I dislike him. I don't want to see negativity. You know what I mean? It's funny because before Baller Busters even started making videos about me, I blocked them 2 years before they knew who I was. They can't block me. I have them blocked. And I'll unblock them strategically. But I already foresee these obstacles. I'm over analytical. You know, I'll go, okay, if he takes this angle, I'm going to take that angle. If they take this angle, I'm going to take that angle. But yeah, I think with every single good, there's evil at the same time, and it's what it is. But I've been pretty. I've had a lot of mercy on me in life, bro. Like, where people probably could have fucking kicked me down more or whatever, but they're just like, he's a decent human being. Fuck. I mean, what else can I really say about him?
Right. Yeah. I think they saw the potential in you.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's key.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a spark to you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, people can see that, especially
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. We're being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
Those that can, help and feel and have that empathetic connection, they can feel it.
And I've had that with mentors far past me. Just like, man, I want to work with you. It was never free. I still paid all of them. The price was 6 figures, I'm paying them. If the price $50,000, I'm paying them. But these guys would be like, yo, like I want to help you out. Like I see the past me and you. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And I've had so many fortunate circumstances of just exposure, bro. Exposure is the biggest thing. Like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
I'll take some of my guys to Miami. I had a guy, I was like, bro, we'll do a challenge, bro. It's slow for you right now. If you close 2 clients within the next 2 weeks, I'll give you 2 weeks to do it. Take you out to Miami. I'll give you an experience that's more than whatever money you make. And the kid comes out, they go to Miami. Some guys leave the same because there's no self-belief. Those guys, I'll take them back to the airport, they'll cry.
Blown away.
They're not aligned yet. They're crying. The guys that end up staying out here like, bro, I've seen what I needed to do. Bro, you'll see me here in 2 months. I see him. I was the same way, though. I had the Miami effect where I visited Miami the first time, bro, this post-Miami depression. Bro, I went back to Arizona and started seeing tumbleweeds and deserts, and I was like, fuck, bro. I was like, yo, I got to get to fucking Miami by any means necessary. There wasn't as many young guys like when I first moved 3 years ago.
Really?
A lot of the guys now, I'm not going to say I had a direct influence on the moving by any means, but
Probably did.
A lot of the younger guys, like the guys that you'll see now killing, are like, yo, Vince, bro, I saw your Miami videos, bro. I moved out. I'm like, hell yeah. But I live a little bit outside of Miami now, but I think it's cool to see, bro. I don't like people will say, well, Vince, what do you think about the guys that are in your industry coming up? I want to do nothing but help those guys. I want to help them have a good product. I want to help them sell. I want to help them market. I don't even think in the plane of competition.
Right.
I don't think, oh, this dude's gonna steal my leads. I did a podcast with Brandon Carter. All I did was speak highly of him. All I did when I joined your group, he was exactly what changed. And I think people see that type of character too. And they're just like, yo, this dude.
The authenticity of it.
I told Brandon Carter, I was like, bro, yo, I'm gonna sauce you on this. And I'm like, I know you didn't want to do it with me at first because we're in the same. He's like, yeah, Vince, I didn't. Right. And I'm like, I'm not here to take your money, bro. Like, I don't. It's not about money to me. I was like, yo, Brandon, I don't know where we're at this month. I was like, yo, Brandon, I think it's 700,000 or so. It's 3 weeks into the month. He said, man, I think you're my best student. I was like, and all I'm gonna do is speak highly of you. That's all I'm gonna do. Yeah, and I just.
That's awesome.
When you have enough self-belief, you don't feel the need to drag others down.
No.
And there's
it's a waste of energy, waste of time.
Mm-hmm. There's a big difference though between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
It's funny because people think I'm arrogant, but I'm not actually arrogant. I just have so much confidence in myself, but I always have humility. I never think I'm better than anyone and nobody can reach where I reach. That's when it becomes arrogance.
Right.
But I have a lot of confidence, and that gets confused with arrogance, and that's where people go, fuck this guy.
And you're actually helping.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you know the secret to my success on social media, for example? All I do is give my past self advice. All I do is I tell me 3 years ago exactly what he needed to hear. And when I meet people in person, they go, Vince, bro, are you talking to me, bro? Yo, it's like you make videos for me. I'm like, if the shoe fits, bro, it's for you. Really it's for the past me, but it resonates with so many young men.
That's a great analogy.
And that's the biggest secret. I don't tell myself, I don't say anything online I wouldn't live by.
Right.
I don't sell anything I wouldn't sell. I made a funny video about this, like the how people tax me now and stuff like that.
Yes.
But it's funny because I thought, well, I sell high ticket. I sell expensive things. But I buy expensive mentorships and education at the same time.
Right.
But I mean, if I had like, I don't know, like a detailing shop, if I'm not paying $700 to detail a car, I'm not charging $700, you know? So I live in unison. Not a lot of people understand that everything internal reflects externally. You don't even have to change the world. You just have to change yourself. When I see hate videos of me online, the immature side of me, I guess the unwise side tries to fight the hate and the critics and go, why are they making videos? I'll get some messages, Vincent, you want me to remove these videos? And then the wisdom side of me goes, the more I fight this, the more I'm going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Because all this is some piece in my consciousness. It's an affirmation reflected. Maybe it's hidden in the shadows, but maybe this offends me because to some degree I think is right. Maybe my internal universe is reflected in my external universe. And the reason these videos poke me is because I haven't uncovered things about myself. And now they no longer offend me. They could still be making videos. I don't know. I could still have videos. They've completely left my reality.
That's awesome.
I don't even think about them. But I used to heavily think about it. And my results slowed every time I did.
It's human.
Yeah, the goal of those attacks is to lower the vibration.
Right.
So the more I engaged with them.
And to push your buttons to make you tick.
Yeah, the more I engaged with them, which I thought was strategic, right? I thought it was like, oh, well, it gets views. My revenue stopped a little bit. I was like, what's going on? But I told myself and I told God, I was like, I'm not even going to engage with this. Unless it needs to be engaged with, I'm not even going to engage or acknowledge this. Because the same thing, it's kind of like the analogy I told you of my mom. How she'd tell me, Vincent, it might feel like the end of the world now.
Right.
It's like a small little pebble in the path of success. And what huge figure do you see online that doesn't have attack videos on them?
Oh, my goodness. If no one's hating you, you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. You got to have haters.
Yeah, but it is funny, too, because, I mean, to some degree, what they want to do works. The reason I'll say that, when I'm in rooms with billionaire private money lenders that allow me to finance the people in my group, will say, hey, man, you know, what's this video, et cetera. I'll be like, bro, let's get lunch, bro. Yeah, let's get lunch. It's all bullshit. You can't name a figure online that doesn't have hate. But when they sit down with me, they know, like, oh, okay, these guys.
Do you think that's generational? That those old guys don't really get what the fuck's going on online, and they see these videos and they believe it?
I just think the goal is monetization.
Right.
They don't hate just to hate, right? Like, they're making money from it. Like, they'll get a YouTube video that gets a lot of views.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean the billionaires.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that it's just like they see the video, right? And they may feel a certain way about it. Do you think they just don't get it, how this whole Instagram game works?
No, most of the time they just want to know what the fuck it is.
I see.
They don't, billionaires, they don't have time like people think they would.
Yeah.
Like if you're 5 minutes late to a meeting with a billionaire, he's gonna reschedule the meeting. That's what I've seen. So like they don't even watch the videos. They're just like, hey bro, I saw these, explain this. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I've seen. And the billionaires that I've met always have like assistants, always have everything automated.
Yeah.
But billionaires are like who, not how people. Like they know the back end and the systems, but they got like their people, you know, and they're kind of like, I have this guy that does this and that. I used to think I needed to know everything in my business. I couldn't tell you the down to the detail SOPs anymore because it's just so many layers of people. And it's like their job is to make it more efficient.
Right.
Like Elon Musk doesn't know every employee he has.
Right.
You know, like Jeff Bezos isn't responding to Amazon complaint emails anymore. So it's just down the ladder in the ecosystem.
Where do you see yourself by 30?
30? I'm 22 right now. I know 100 million is inevitable. Hopefully billionaire, I don't know. But it's funny because my goal after a millionaire was billionaire. I didn't have like 100 million goal, et cetera. But I think it's, like you said, I think it's inevitable I'll end up a billionaire.
Yeah.
But I think by 30, a realistic target is 100 million. Now the practical side to it, building a software, recurring revenue. I've seen these guys that like, you know, our businesses would do good. You know, they'll make 8 figures a year. But I see guys in software companies that make like significantly less, that exit at 10x plus multipliers. And I go, damn, It's not that I'm in the wrong vehicle. It's that I need both vehicles. I need my cash flow to go into this machine that has equity.
Yeah.
So my practical plan of 100 million is software, probably same thing, 10 million a year, recurring revenue,
Right.
exit or loan against. That's my practical step. But then again, I used to, when I first wanted to get rich, I thought I was gonna be a day trader. So, you know, a lot of shit might move
For
around.
sure.
But yeah.
Opportunity comes knocking. You might, jump on a new train.
And people don't know you can pass your goals too. I set a lot of goals.
Oh, for sure.
I'm big on goal setting, long-term goals, short-term goals. I'm big on being specific. My goal this year was to have an SVJ, and then which I bought the SVJ at the beginning of this year, and that was it, like an SVJ and a nice watch. That was like my materialistic goal. And then it was 300,000 a month at the beginning of this year. That was my goal. Now we've cracked just under $1 million a month pretty consistently. Bought a hypercar, not an SVJ, right? I was just a lot further than I wanted to be for the
Fucking
goals.
shatter that ceiling.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess some people say like you'll never get further than you aim, but I got a little bit further. You know what I mean? I said I wanted to be a millionaire by 25. I was like, if I'm a millionaire by 25, I wrote that at 16, then I'll be happy. I guess it just happened before that.
So, okay. What would you say today to yourself 4 years ago? That kid that's watching, that's you 4 years ago. What would you say to him?
I know this is there's not a lot of wisdom in this. Like a real answer, I just say keep doing what you're doing because I wouldn't want to mess up anything. But, damn, I just feel like every piece was so important.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think every piece was so important. Damn.
Give me a few words of advice for them to not quit 3 feet from gold.
Yeah. I think it's that. This is what I see from most men. I've directly changed hundreds of young men's lives and had them making more money than they've ever made. Indirectly, probably millions of young men. There's not a country I could go to now where people don't go. Like a few guys in their 20s are like, yo, this is that one motherfucker. But what I've seen that most men need to understand is that people think now, when you see somebody like me, that I'm confident because I have a nice life. They think, oh yeah, of course he's confident. He's in a penthouse, he has a hypercar, he's got his dream girl, that's why he's confident.
Right.
But what they don't get is that the result is a byproduct of the confidence. So it's flipped, right? Like a lot of people are working backwards. They go, once I have this, then I'm gonna become the person. Once I have that, then I'm gonna become the person. If you dissect the English language, if you take the word believe, it says be, live. And the formula to success that I say that's biblical is be, do, have. So if you aren't be living the version of yourself that you want to create, then as a byproduct and a universal principle, you can't have it. If you think about the idea of spelling, like a witch takes a wand and it spells. Your words are the most powerful thing because they're a bridge to the feeling. And I guess the best advice, if they can conceptualize this, because I know when I was like 19, I wouldn't be able to conceptualize the quote. But there's a quote from Neville, Bob Proctor's mentor. He has another mentor that's named Abdul, right? But anyways, Neville said this quote, and it's, we're only limited by our uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of our wish fulfilled, or something along those lines. Now, if you dissect what that means, we're only limited by our uncontrolled imagination. What do you think about day to day? What do you focus on day to day?
Garbage.
Things that you want, things that you don't want. If you can control that imagination and keep it locked and centered on things that you want, and have the mental discipline to focus on the feeling that you have it, and have persistence on top of that, because that's another important principle. As a law, not as a theory, as a law, there's no reality outside of that. I always say that, I guess, logic is a lagging indicator of imagination. So like everything I once had in my imagination, I live now. And everything I have in my imagination now is going to create my future. The reason I've never really had a time like other people where I've gone completely broke and lost everything, then had to rebuild, then lost everything. I was never born a winner by nature. I had to learn how to be a winner through mental principles and mental discipline. So I've been able to handle, I guess, weakness of imagination. When I even focus on the idea of failure, I know that if I persist in that long enough, that will be reality.
True, right.
And that's where most men have success and they fall off. Then they have success and they fall off. So I think about what I think about. You know, and I'm just like, I want to think about getting to the next level. But I'll repeat the quote for anybody listening. We're only limited by our uncontrolled imagination. And I'll say this, and our weakness of attention to the feeling of our wish fulfilled. Now, here's where people go wrong. They only think about the thing. If they want a Lambo, they think Lambo, 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 Lambo. But the feeling of being the man that has the Lambo is what gives you the Lambo. When I woke up today, complete confidence, boom, put my little, suit on, et cetera, walked downstairs, walked past the $3.5 million car, made a story, walked to the Rolls Royce, beep, beep. I wasn't thinking about the Rolls Royce of the car. I was so proud of myself, not because of materialism. It took me so long to create the man that could walk confidently in this life. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing that people need to overcome.
Right.
So the reason I practiced success habitually and went to the Rolls Royce dealership and went into the Zillow to tour the mansions, I wasn't in alignment then. I'd see the Rolls Royce and I'd go, can I sit inside? And I'd ask so weakly that they'd go, kid, you can't sit inside this thing. And then I'd go home. And I'd wait 2 weeks, and I'd go back at a time that the same worker wasn't there. And I said, let me say it more confidently. And I'd go, hey man, I'm just checking out the car a little bit. I want to go ahead and jump in the car, see what it's about. Hey man, somebody's going to buy that car. I'm going to buy that car. I'm going to buy that car. It's just a little bit disrespectful to say to a customer, right?
Right.
Okay, let me go get the keys. Beep, beep. But I still had that feeling of like, damn, my shoes are on the rug. Can I put my feet here? Can I have the mirror, et cetera? And I'm like, okay. I'm going to check. I always had my excuse, right? Because I'm not buying the car. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go check out a few other options. I'll be back here if anything. I like this one a lot. What's your business card? Knew damn well I had nothing in my bank account. But I'm practicing success. I'm practicing being the man that has these things. The next time I go and I take my mom, when you tell my mom no, I'm enraged. Hey kid, this is the third time you've been here, man. Listen, we don't want to waste any time, et cetera. I was like, no, we're going to look at this car. My mom's going to look at this car. She's going to sit inside of this car. My mom didn't, same thing. We had a paradigm, right? We had what we were meant for, our family curse, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
My mom's like, Vincent, I don't want to make them mad. I don't want to piss them off. We'll go. I was like, no, we're not going to go. Let her sit in the car. Like I'm not like I'm not like gonna fight them or anything.
Right.
But like that's how much conviction that I had, that not I deserved it, that my mom deserved that life. And we sat in the car, she experienced it. I said, one day I'm gonna get you one of these. That hasn't happened yet, soon, very soon. But we'd go home and I'd tell my mom, I'd go, Mom, in the blue van that we had, a blue van that was a 1999 Toyota van. Shitty, man. We're driving home and I'm like, Mom, you see that? I was like, we're going to be a royal family. And she's like, well, Vincent, we can't be a royal family because royal families have a different blood and it's tested and et cetera. I'm like, well, now our blood is royal blood and we're going to be a royal family. I now make 8 figures a year. My mom now sells high ticket consulting packages, $50,000 to wealthy families. And I've completely re-identified our family paradigm.
It's incredible.
I was the black sheep, right? I was the one that was unwilling to accept the same standard of looking for discounts every time we went to the grocery store. This is very recent that I retired my mom too, like the last year and a half. And my mom will send me texts. Vincent, this is my first designer bag. Vincent, this is the first time I went into a grocery store and haven't used a coupon.
That's awesome.
Vincent, this is the first time I haven't looked at the price tag on something. And I'll go get used to it because it's only going to get better.
Right.
Because back then, my mom, I say back then, it was 3 years ago. But 3 years ago, my mom was like, well, Vincent, in 5 years, my pension, and I'm going to get, I think, $5,000 a month or so. And I'm like, I just knew, I was like, Mom, I'm going to be rich way before that. I'm gonna be rich way before that. I send my mom more than that every month.
As a podcaster, I needed a place to share my voice and hear other stories. That's how Forge Studios was born. A place created not just for me, but for everyone searching for something more. An environment where as soon as you walk in, you feel the energy and you feel welcomed. Where being seen and heard is part of the experience. A place for entrepreneurs to share their journey, for creators to bring ideas to life, for businesses to grow authentically. A space that values mental health, encourages real conversations, and supports those who turns ideas into impact. Here at the Forge Studios, creativity, culture, and purpose aligns and comes together to help you create something greater. A place where we leave the filters behind and we start expressing ourselves for real. The Forge Studio. Your journey starts here. Your impact starts now.
My mom goes to like Puerto Rico. She travels. She bought an RV. She's enjoying life, you know?
That's awesome.
And I watched the masculine role model in my life. That was my mom at the time because I had no father, and she raised me and my two brothers. Why is there a fork in the sink? Why is there this? And I watched her become a feminine woman and go, Vincent, I look up to you so much. I learn from you every single day. And that's the most beautiful thing any man can experience.
Fucking powerful, bro. Yeah.
Outside of buying any Lambo. And that's why I do it too. And yeah, my mom's like my best friend and the only person that can mentally challenge me. She's the only person I can sit down with and just have a conversation and ramble on with. My mom had a geniusly, or I say had, she's still alive, but my mom has a geniusly high IQ. She's very, very smart. My dad was extremely smart. My mom used to play classical music like Beethoven and Mozart. She had a piano when I was younger because it was said to raise a kid's IQ. Mm-hmm. And she'd play that for me. And she was always so analytical. But analytical alone doesn't create success. You need like masculine courage. So my mom was very analytical. She'd go, oh, this land here, if we were to save up and get this land in this area, then it probably... So she thought how I think now.
Right.
But I knew the thinking alone wouldn't get us from where we were to the next level. I knew that the unapologetic action of let me bulldoze into this shit.
You must execute.
Yeah, let me not think about what goes wrong. Let me deal with what goes wrong once it goes wrong. And that's how I was able to become successful. So to any man watching this, I think the number one thing is it has to be bigger than you. If it was just me, I probably wouldn't be successful. I might have given up. But it was so selfless for me. Yeah, like I couldn't even, it wasn't about me.
You had a really big why.
Yeah. And that wasn't off of like complete scarcity. We didn't starve. We never starved. But I made it like do or die. It had to happen. And that was why it happened. So you have to be able to put your back against the wall, even if it's not against the wall.
50 Cent, get rich or die trying.
That was the biggest thing. I'd look up to quotes from like Elon Musk, saying how he'd commit hoku or some type of suicide by a sword if he didn't get rich. And I just adopted the mentality of successful people.
Man, you're impressive.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You really are. I mean, you've already helped millions. You're going to help millions more. I think by I don't know, man, probably by your like 25, you're going to be like top influencer in the male space.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I can see it. I really can. You're very authentic and you are humble and you are human. You know what I mean? I think you understand very well your role, your gifts, and how you can apply them. It's awesome, bro. It really is. Like, I'm happy that people like you exist because there are so many young men that are lost. No father, lost, single mother, not knowing where to turn to drugs, going into gangs, right? Doing the wrong shit. And I think you provide that foundation where they can come in, learn, have a mentor, and grow.
Yeah, and even to sum it up, that was all I wanted. I watched my brothers get into, the gang stuff. Two older brothers, full black. I watched them get into like the violence, the bullshit. I watched one of my brothers.
How are you guys? How is your relationship?
We're not too close because the older brother can't respect the younger brother. There's always yeah, mom just loves you more. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I was the only blood child from my mom.
Got it.
So that was like the cope out, right? Like, oh, mom just loves you more. So I'd be like, hey, Dominic, how you doing, man? Like, yo, Cameron, I heard you crashed, bro. You need a new car? Yeah, I'll let you know if anything, bro. Keep killing it. But like, they don't, like, and no matter how, I've given them everything. I'm like, bro, do this, do that. Like, let's do it, bro.
Right.
They just don't do it. You know, so it's kind of like my brothers were a perfect example at that time of what not to do for me. One of my brothers used to sell drugs out of my mom's house. He got kicked out. My other brother, same thing, like I said, just gang violence, bullshit.
Yeah.
I saw where the hose stuff went. I saw the bullshit, the Hennessy, the cocaine addictions, coming home, Christmas dinner, just puking, pants down. And I just saw what not to do. And I was just like, okay, I know what not to do. Now there's a clearer path of what to do.
Right. That's powerful.
Yeah.
What do you say to a kid like you who is in that household?
I'd say just self-belief. I don't even know if self-belief is you're born with it or what, but like I've always been optimistic. I was never pessimistic. I don't know. I think that's a God-given gift, but I was never like a glass half empty type of guy. I was always glass half full. And I think that's the sole root of why I'm successful, because in my household, it was pessimistic. It was frugal. It was like, I remember my mom used to lay out like papers across the whole floor, doing like little tax shit for like $3,000 a month income, just stressing, pulling her hair out, yelling.
And that shit probably frustrated you.
Yeah, and I was just, it was, I mean, that was pretty scary to me, I'd say. I was like,
Yeah.
is that what I'm meant for? Like, is that stressing over bills and bullshit? But I was just optimistic. I don't know why. Like I used to escape the house, so I'd take the bus home, but it was negative energy at home.
Right.
I didn't want to be home. I'd go in the desert. There was a desert not far from our house, Mountain Reserve, Phoenix Mountain Reserve or something like that. I'd go into the desert and I'd like take burnt down wood and I'd build huts on mountains and shit. I'd like go look at rattlesnakes. I'd go catch scorpions and shit. I was out of the house. I didn't want to come home. You know what I mean? Because it was just stress at home. It was frustration, brothers being kicked out, yelling. I used to walk slower after I got off the bus to actually walk inside, because it's just like negative energy, you know? And that energy's disappeared from the family now.
Proud of you, bro. Good job.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Do me a favor. Look at that camera. Let everyone know where they can find you, your course, your program, your coaching program, your mentorship, whatever you want to share.
Yes, sir. So you guys can follow me at Vincent Fischer _ on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's get it.
Man, I wasn't sure what to expect of you, and I think you shattered all my expectations.
Oh yeah.
You are someone I will be looking carefully to see what you do, because you are very impressive, and I'm very proud of you. I don't know if you've heard that, but I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
It's not easy. I know that it's not easy to do what you've done at 22 with all distractions, all bullshit, all negativity, and you fucking did it. Good for you, bro.
Thank you. It means a lot.
I wish you all the best. I really do.
Oh yeah. Thank you, brother.
Guys, if you are a young man and you're someone that's lost, confused, not knowing what to do, single family, you're looking for a mentor to follow, to look up to help you, to guide you, my man right here. Vince is proof that the American dream is still alive, and that all you have to do is want it. All you have to do is dedicate to yourself, build the right foundation, surround yourself with the right people, and you will make it. Please follow Vince, follow the podcast, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time.